There's a new GTA 6 leak out there that's gone absolutely viral and reveals a ton about the game. But is it real? That's what we'll be talking about in this video today and a whole lot more. So before I tell you about what the leak is, I want to tell you about just how viral it's gone. It was posted only a few days ago on social media and has over 600,000 views. So that's a pretty good amount of people that have ultimately seen this. And what's interesting is it's coming on an account that joined social media in 2019, has under 9,000 followers, and only has 7 posts. So some of this is a little bit odd. So I obviously want you guys to take it with a grain of salt. I'm not here to tell you whether or not it's real or whether or not it's fake. We will, of course, discuss that after I tell you about the leak itself, but I just wanted to give you guys that background info before we get into it. So let's get started. This is what they said. According to the leaker, the main story of GTA 6 is 75 hours. The prologue is 2 hours, Chapter 1, 6 hours, Chapter 2, 13 hours, Chapter 3, 16 hours, Chapter 4 is 22 hours, and Chapter 5, 16 hours. The ending is set to be outside of the US and has been worked on the most besides the graphics. Okay, so that is incredibly interesting. It gives us an idea of how long the story is going to be, which is around 75 hours. For those of you guys that are wondering, Rockstar's last game, Red Dead Redemption 2, it clocked in at around 60 to 80 hours to complete the main story. So that seems to be right in line with what Rockstar have done in the past. It also looks like it's going to bring back the chapter and prologue system that Red Dead Redemption 2 introduced. So GTA 5 had a prologue, but it was only one mission long. And in that one mission, it tried to, give you all the little things you needed to do in order to start the game. Red Dead Redemption 2's was a little bit more in depth, provided a little bit more of a story aspect to it. And then, of course, it is 5 chapters instead of 6 chapters like what we saw in Red Dead Redemption 2, with the 4th chapter being the longest. But the ending, 16 hours, is set outside of the US and is the one that has been worked on the most. Now, it does make you wonder how someone knows this information. I'm a little bit skeptical of that because in order to know this, the entire game would have to be complete. And Rockstar ultimately delayed the entire game around 4 to 5 months to May 26, 2026. So I don't know how someone knows this information. And what also makes this odd is that this account just came out of nowhere. Now, yes, it's gone absolutely viral, but it's still come out of nowhere. And I think because the first one went viral, this individual ended up doubling down, putting out another post on August 3rd. This one not going quite as viral, but it said, according to game testers and insiders, GTA 6 is reportedly currently running at near 4K quality and 40 FPS, at least on a PS5 Pro build. And then on the very same day, providing more information, saying, according to Insider, GTA 6 plot and plot twists have been revealed, which according to that right there means that whoever is running this account, English might not necessarily be their first language. But it says Lucia's father killed by the cartel. Jason was Black Ops in Latin America. Lucia betrays Jason temporarily throughout the middle of the story. Jason Duval is not a cop, and there are 4 main antagonists and more. And then providing some more information, Lucia's father wasn't just a victim, he was involved. Lucia's father was part of the cartel's financial laundering network, but secretly cooperated with a shadowy U.S. agency. He taught Lucia the game to protect her, but he was executed by the cartel when they suspected he flipped. His final act, hiding encrypted evidence inside an old family heirloom Lucia still owns. And then Jason's Army days, Black Ops in Latin America. Jason wasn't just a soldier, he was involved in a covert op, codenamed Condor Echo in the 2000s, assisting the US in training paramilitary groups that evolved into today's cartels. A massive op gone wrong led to the rise of a brutal cartel called Los Ascensios del Alba, the Dawn Killers, the very cartel that would murder Lucia's father. Jason had known Brian for years, running security at his docks, handling shipments that no one asked questions about. When Brian's crew started skimming profits, he needed muscle and someone who could handle things quietly. Brian brought Jason to an underground fight ring just outside the Keys to meet Lucia, fierce, relentless, and exactly the kind of chaos he needed on his side. Lucia had nowhere else to go after a deal went south, So Brian insisted she stay at his Key's house, the same place Jason was renting as a low-profile safe spot. Forced under one roof, the two didn't like each other at first, but Brian knew they'd balance each other out. Now they work together, not because they trust each other, but because Brian's empire depends on it, and neither of them wants to be the first to fall. So that's definitely some interesting information on our two main characters and their family. Honestly, it sounds like it could be true, but it also sounds like it's just doing a ton of wish listing and speculating from not only what we've seen in the trailers, specifically the second trailer with the various scenes that were showcased and whatnot, but also the screenshots and images that Rockstar provided on their website and the descriptions that they provided for those characters too. Because you see things like Lucia's golden boxing necklace, and you could say that there's some old family heirloom with encrypted evidence in there. That, again, that could just be speculation. You see Jason's tattoos and how there's a parachute there. So you could speculate it has to do with, training paramilitary groups that turn into the cartel. So I'm torn here. It sounds like it could be realistic and honestly sounds like a pretty good story, but where is this information coming from? They just keep saying insiders and testers and sources, but what's the source and who's the insider? What's their track record and why should we believe them? And the cherry on top is it's coming from an account that is suddenly just starting to post about Grand Theft Auto 6, but has been around for 6 years and only has really 7 or 8 things that they've really talked about for their entire social media lifetime. Now, many people asked follow-up questions to this individual. Someone said in the 2000s, we're talking Jason probably isn't even older than 35, being very optimistic. How old was he in the early 2000s? 16. So this guy is skeptical too. And he said GTA 6 is set in 2016 in game as it is in real life. Modern day, Jason's age is rumored to be in the mid-30s, and he was in the army in the late 2000s, meaning he would have been nearly 20 then. So I guess that ultimately makes sense. And then one user said, wait 10 years for a game that only lasts 3 days, shake my head. And he said casual plays around 2 hours per day. If that, it will take around a little more than a month to finish the story if you're just playing the story. If you look at the 2022 leaks, there were rumors of way over 1,000 world events, plus we'll have hundreds of activities and way more. That part might be true. I don't know how long the story is going to be versus how many hours a person plays per day. Everyone's going to be binging, I think, this game so quickly, but are also going to be doing it at their own pace. I know a lot of guys that just like to go out and explore. A lot of people like to, power through the main story and know what's going on. And then there's a ton of people that kind of mix and match and do everything else in between. So my BS meter is going off, I would say, quite a bit on this, but I always kind of want to remain cautiously optimistic, even though there are a lot of red flags here. This is something I'll bookmark and come back to when the story actually comes out to see if any of it was true, because we have seen posts like this made online turn out to be real. Like with Red Dead Redemption 2, essentially telling us the entire story of the epilogue with John Marston on the farm. That just came from a random account that didn't have any sources, but it turned out to be true. So we'll keep this in mind. Let me know what you think of it, though, in those comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the GTA 6 videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.